There's one thing I'll note on this, and I've been following what's going on with the Tesla attacks. There's only one prominent Democrat, I think maybe only one Democrat full stop, who's spoken out against that, and that's Ro Khanna. And I looked into this. Pelosi has been asked about it, but has kind of avoided answering the question. Why is it so hard to not condemn this stuff? How can we expect it to stop? Why are they so terrified in condemning it? And I mean, Pelosi, if someone like that, we remember what happened in Portland. We've stopped the National Guard from going in. Even Trump sent her in, so she has a record there. But the other thing, if I can zoom out for one moment on this, is I remember in the heady days of January 2025, when I was told woke is dead. I was told that this election means that woke has finally been defeated, and Trump had all these executive orders that anti-woke. But we're seeing what I remember in 2020 as the extreme side of wokeism. We're seeing a reemergence of this far-left extremism, and this is only 2 months in. I mean, we're in the third month of the Trump election.
So the woke being dead thing is a reference to Trump gutting it institutionally, meaning these institutions should not be implementing DEI policies and things like this.
Yes.
And private corporations abandoning this stuff.
Yes.
But in terms of what they're doing amongst themselves and how they react to it, at the administrative level, they are still attacking through lawfare. And in the street level, they are still engaged in violence.
Yes. So what I see here is that things like Trump won the war on DEI. He won the war on some of these other specific topics. Let's say Me Too. There's no chance of that coming back. But if we're seeing this emerging here, I think that we'll see woke come out with a new face. I think this is just the beginning. We're only 2 months in.
I mean, even at the policy level, I don't even necessarily know if you could say that he defeated them, because a lot of it is these companies are just shifting definitions. They're making their corporate structure around these types of policies even more opaque and hard to define. So it gets reimagined as bridge rather than DEI, things like that. But stuff like this, it's kind of analogous to what's going on in Hollywood, which is Disney is currently under investigation by the FCC because they believe that they're still engaging in these types of racially based DEI policies. But at the level of the studios and what they're creating, most of them are still all in on creating stuff like this. The only reason some of it was gutted was because a lot of the studios that were at least a little bit smarter understood that the money was not going that way. So it just gave them it let Trump be the excuse to get rid of it. But like we were talking about before the show went on the air, which is that this stuff wasn't happening necessarily while Biden was in office because people weren't primed the same way they are now that Trump is back in office, and all of their existential dread that is being kind of re-amplified every day by the news. It's going to get worse, especially as the weather gets nicer and it's easier for people to go outside.
Riot season.
Yeah, it's riot season.
Riot season.
Yep.
Yeah, and they didn't need to do all the riots during Biden because they were getting what they wanted. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's important to remember that even though we are going to see this kind of violence, and even though we see it with this GOP headquarters and all of the Teslas and the Tesla dealerships and all of the boomers going around dancing and thinking that they're actually getting something done, it's still a relatively small amount of people. And these are the small amount of people that make a huge amount of noise. That's true.
Did y'all see the people dancing in front of the Tesla, that coordinated dance or whatever?
Yeah, it was hot. It was so hot.
Well, I'd appreciate it if that's all they did. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, well, you got me.
Well, if you want to go dance around in front of Tesla or protest, but don't be destroying people's property and don't be, going in and disrupting all of the business. Make your point in a politically protesty type of way, as is traditionally done.
What was worse, that or the dancing nurses during COVID?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, the dancing nurses were dancing on graves.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
The
doctors were almost worse than the nurses, too.
Yeah, there were videos there were some black women who were filming, and they were like, is this why I can't get any service right now? And they were filming people producing a dance. So it's like people who actually need help at a hospital were looking at nurses staging a dance instead of doing their jobs. Mm-hmm. That was just disgusting.
And then musicians who should have been playing shows where people could actually dance are shut down because they weren't allowed to perform.
But that's okay, because they were playing Imagine, each of them, in their remote location.
I mean, that's the real reason people should be mad at Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I mean, that was I found that offensive. The imagine from your beautiful backyard.
She's
I'm like stuck in my apartment.
she's not American though, so she probably doesn't understand as much as we do how awful that song is.
I remember during at that time, the WHO reaching out to do, can you come and play for us? This is right at the beginning of the pandemic. Can you come and play for us? Because we're trying to, spend love or whatever. And what they were actually doing was trying to whitewash their own reputation, artist wash their reputation, using people like Lady Gaga and everything to. It's a bit of a tangential point.
Well, like play where? Like at events?
You play from your bedroom.
Oh, so it was the
streaming their little concerts like
the ultimate bed-in. I mean, it should have been, that should have been the thing. It's like an homage to Lennon and Yoko.
Yeah.
I come to America and I don't think it's quite reconciled itself with what happened from 2020 through the pandemic, through BLM, all the people killed in that period, all the damage done. I feel like it's been completely ignored and memory holed by liberal types, and I think even conservatives, it's like we don't want to go back there. It's too tiring.
It's not just the conservatives, and it's not just the liberals. It's readers. Readers
really?
don't want to read it. Yeah, when
you
we
found that
run
the
stuff
Post-Millennial?
at the Post-Millennial about like rehash of COVID, here's some stuff that were revealed now and then, if people are interested in it. But when you say somebody has finally admitted that the virus was perhaps created in a lab in Wuhan, everyone's just like, meh. Like,
Well, we knew that.
we knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people didn't though, and that's
Sure,
the
but
issue.
like,
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.